afraid of the dark? Just relax and let the darkness fall over you. Welcome to Afraidish, a podcast where we take a deep dive into the history and paranormal while enjoying some tasty adult beverages. From ghost sightings to hauntings, urban legends and cryptids, let's get weird and afraid-ish together. Welcome to episode 55. I'm Paul.
And I'm Ashley.
Oh, how have we been?
You know. That's a loaded question.
Yeah. We are recording on Christmas Day.
Christmas night.
Yeah.
December 25th night.
Yep. So much fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you?
Yeah.
Got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. What's your favorite present?
The tattoo gift card and massage gift card.
The gift certificates? Yeah.
Much needed.
I aim to please.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too. So this might be a long episode. So
Hershey has decided to chase squirrels in his dreams.
Yeah. Anyways. So what are we drinking?
I'm drinking champagne from the Champagne region of Canada. Actually, it's Aldi California Heritage Brut Sparkling.
Nice.
I was drinking mimosas, but orange juice has a lot of calories and sugars, and champagne is relatively low calorie-ish.
I had some of that, and then I had some screwdrivers, and then I had the last of the Long Island iced tea.
Oh, did you now?
I did.
Yeah.
Now I'm drinking a Pepsi Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom brought a whole feckin' bar with her, didn't she?
Yeah.
When she came over today.
And a slice of a gummy.
And I had one piece of gummy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that gummy, but I think I made the portions too small.
Yeah. Oh well. It was on sale.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't on sale. Mine was regular price, so I can go back and get more.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Get into it.
Do it. Here are 5 fun facts about lighthouses.
Woohoo!
Number 1.
Sorry, that was a delayed response.
It's fine. 5 fun facts. Number 1. Lighthouses have existed for millennia. The first known lighthouse, the Pharos of Alexandria, was built in Egypt around 280 BCE and was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Yes.
This ancient structure stood over 350 feet tall and guided ships to the bustling port of Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Sadly, as with most of Alexandria, gone.
Yeah. Number 2. Each lighthouse has a unique signal. No 2 lighthouses flash their lights in the same sequence.
I did not know that.
Neither did I. This is called the lighthouse's characteristic, helping sailors identify their location at sea. Some lighthouses also have unique paint patterns or colors known as day marks to distinguish them during the day.
I did notice, I've not paid a terrible amount of attention to lighthouses in my life.
Yeah.
But you do note, some are just, solid white on the outside, but some have different,
some are white and black, some are yellow.
Stripes and things like that on them. So it's interesting that was done intentionally and not just at the whim of the lighthouse keeper or whomever.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 3. Lighthouses can withstand extreme weather.
Mm-hmm.
These structures are designed to endure powerful storms, hurricanes, and crashing waves. The Bell Rock Lighthouse in Scotland, built on a partially submerged reef in 1811, has survived more than 2 centuries of violent weather.
Yeah. I mean, they have to be built strong And it makes you kind of wonder, like, modern humans are not very adaptable. Like, we all want to live in square houses. We want all of our houses to be the same shape and size across, like, all regions of where, you know, westernized civilization, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Whereas our architecture should reflect the local weather, the climate, all of those things. Like in New Mexico, the Native Americans lived in houses that were made of mud that were partially underground because it kept itself cooler.
Yeah.
But, you know, we want to put timber frame boxes in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason. But like the lighthouses, they're strong. It's a strong shape because it's a cone. It's a cylinder, but it's kind of cone shaped because it's wider at the base, which is more stable in like gale force winds and things like that. So houses in Florida should be round.
Yeah.
But they're not. Because everyone wants to live in a McMansion.
Yeah.
And they wonder why their houses are falling into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. It's crazy. Number 4. The world's oldest operational lighthouse, the Tower of Hercules in Spain, is the oldest functioning lighthouse, dating back to the 2nd century CE. It's still guiding ships today.
That's amazing. Yeah. Is it, I'm guessing it's the tower, well, is it at the border between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic, the Pillars of Hercules?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Could be.
It's the Tower of Hercules, so I would assume that it's near the Pillars of Hercules, which is basically where the Atlantic turns into the Mediterranean.
Could be. Number 5. The tallest lighthouse in the world, the Jeddah Light in Saudi Arabia, holds the record, standing 436 feet tall. It's a combination of a lighthouse and port control tower. It's pretty cool.
How tall was the lighthouse in Alexandria?
350 feet tall.
And the Saudi is
436.
So that's pretty impressive for the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
To build a lighthouse that's less than 100 feet shorter than the wealthiest country in the world with like the most jaw-dropping architectural feats known to man.
That is crazy.
Pretty cool. The Egyptians knew what they were doing, that's for sure.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't fucking aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you were.
All right. Today we're shining a light on some of the most haunted places in the Great Lakes regions. Literally. After diving deep into the history and hauntings of shipwrecks and plane crashes, we're heading to shore to explore the ghostly legends surrounding the lighthouses of the Great Lakes.
Woohoo! There is like a lighthouse tour that you can take in the Great Lakes. I don't know. People that like lighthouses do that. It's like a self-guided thing. Like you don't.
That'd be cool.
But there's maps and stuff.
Get a lighthouse passport and
yeah. That'd
be cool.
Yeah.
You know, lighthouses are these beautiful, lonely sentinels standing against the elements to guide sailors to safety, but they're also symbols of solitude and, let's be honest, tragedy. For every life saved by these towering beacons, there are countless stories of those who didn't make it. And in many cases, those stories didn't end up with death. They linger in the air, in the walls, and in the restless spirits that some believe still haunt these places today. Before we jump into the hauntings, let's set the scene. Imagine the life of a lighthouse keeper, miles from civilization, often alone or with just a handful of family members, days filled with routine, nights spent staring into the endless dark, waiting for storms to hit and wondering what the next day or night might bring.
Lead and mercury, adding to that cocktail of Loneliness.
Yeah. It's no wonder these places became hotbeds for legends and ghost stories. In this episode, we'll travel across all 5 Great Lakes to explore some of the most haunted lighthouses in the region. We'll uncover the history of these beacons and share the chilling tales that make them more than just tourist attractions. Now let's grab a drink and our lanterns to guide our minds through the haunted history of the Great Lakes lighthouses. So I've got quite a few lighthouses. I don't think we'll get to all of them.
Okay.
But we'll get to plenty to, fluff this episode.
Okay. Hit me.
Alrighty. We're starting our journey tonight with one of the most famous and picturesque lighthouses on the Great Lakes, Split Rock Lighthouse. Perched high above the rocky cliffs of Lake Superior in Minnesota,
that doesn't count.
Oh, geez. This lighthouse symbolizes resilience and beauty, but it's also home to some unsettling tales. Now, if you've ever seen a postcard of the Great Lakes, chances are you've seen Split Rock. It's breathtaking, standing over 160 feet above the water, its yellow brick tower a stark contrast against the dark blues and greens of the lake and surrounding forest.
It is quite gorgeous.
Yeah. But this beauty hides a history marked by tragedy. Split Rock Lighthouse was constructed in 1910, a response to one of the most devastating maritime disasters in the region. The Mataafa storm of 1905, that storm wrecked nearly 30 ships on Lake Superior, and the need for better navigational aids became painfully clear.
One storm took down 30 ships?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shit!
Split Rock was part of the solution. At the time, building the lighthouse was an engineering marvel. Supplies had to be hoisted up the cliffs by a steam-powered crane. When it was completed, Split Rock served as a critical guide for ships carrying iron ore from Minnesota's Mesabi Range, and it did its job well. But life at Split Rock wasn't easy. Lighthouse keepers endured harsh winters, isolation, and the ever-present danger of storms. And that's where some of the ghostly tales began. The first reports of paranormal activity at Split Rock Lighthouse came from keepers themselves. Many heard footsteps echoing through the tower late at night, long after the station was deserted. Some even saw shadowy figures moving near the beacon as if tending to the light. That's crazy.
So, there... My first thought when I think of lighthouse keepers, and I'm not trying to discount the paranormal activity that they experienced, but there was a lot of lead back then, lead paint. It wasn't as controlled as it is now. Mercury was, if I am not mistaken, mercury was a pretty integral part of the mechanism for the lighthouse.
I don't know.
I may be wrong.
Shall I continue?
Yes, mercury was used to rotate the lenses and increase the speed of the light.
Yeah.
And the lighthouse keepers had to maintain that. They were exposed to mercury. They didn't know what we now know about. Mercury used to be used as fucking medicine.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
That, I think, contributed to a lot of what we would call the madness that lighthouse keepers are so famous for falling into, and either contributed to paranormal activity or was the cause for the experiencing of paranormal activity.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Again, I don't want to discount these people's experiences, but it's important context. Lighthouse keepers were slowly poisoning themselves to death.
Yeah. It's crazy. One of the most famous stories involves a former keeper, Patrick O'Brien, who served at Split Rock in the 1930s. He was known for his dedication to the job, often staying awake for days during storms to keep the light burning.
That's crazy.
But after his sudden death, visitors and staff began noticing strange occurrences. People have reported hearing a man's voice whispering near the lantern room, calling out names they couldn't recognize. Others have described overwhelming sadness when climbing the tower at dusk. Some believe it's O'Brien, still watching over his beloved lighthouse.
What was his first name? Patrick?
Patrick O'Brien. Then there's the ghost of a sailor, a figure seen on the cliffs below the lighthouse. Witnesses describe him as wearing early 20th century clothing, pacing back and forth as if searching for something. Is he a victim of the Mataafa storm, or perhaps another lost soul drawn to the light in death as he was in life? We may never know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like the light isn't a physical light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But would a spirit mistake, like if they died near a lighthouse, would they mistake the lighthouse as the light?
I don't know.
That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not saying I believe it, but,
Right.
Whatever.
Today, Split Rock Lighthouse is a popular tourist destination and part of a historic site managed by the Minnesota Historical Society. But the ghost stories haven't stopped. Visitors frequently report cold spots in the keeper's quarters, even in summer. Others claim to feel as if they're being watched while standing near the cliffs. Paranormal investigators have also taken an interest in Split Rock. In 2015, a team captured audio recordings of faint voices near the tower, though skeptics argue it could be the wind. Still, there's something undeniably eerie about this place, especially on a foggy night when the beacon slices through the darkness.
Were you able to listen to these alleged recordings, or did you just read that somebody captured them on the internet?
I just read. Yeah. So what is it about Split Rock Lighthouse that keeps spirits tied to it? Is it the tragic history of shipwrecks and storms, the isolation and sacrifice of its keepers, or is it simply that lighthouses lend themselves to the imagination with their lonely towers and haunting beauty? Whatever the reason, Split Rock remains one of the Great Lakes' most enduring and haunted landmarks.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
If it wasn't in Minnesota, I'd say we could go see it.
Ah, jeez.
I don't really have anything against Minnesota. It's not Michigan, so it don't count.
Yeah, I know. Let's keep our journey along the shores of Lake Superior. Our next stop takes us to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
There we go.
Where the Big Bay Point Lighthouse sits high on a bluff overlooking the vast cold waters. While Split Rock is known for its stunning beauty and postcard-perfect charm, Big Bay Point has a darker, more mysterious reputation.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a Airbnb.
I think it is. Anyways, Big Bay Point Lighthouse was constructed in 1896 to protect ships navigating Lake Superior's treacherous waters. It's a red brick tower with a keeper's residence attached, perched on a remote cliff where the wind howls almost constantly. In its early days, the lighthouse was essential for guiding iron ore freighters from Marquette and other ports to the east. But life at Big Bay Point wasn't just lonely, it was also harsh. The winters were brutal, the isolation was maddening, and the keepers often battled the elements to keep the light functional.
There's a spa. Sorry. I'm looking up it's a hotel.
That's cool. See, the winters were brutal, the isolation was maddening, and the keepers often battled the elements to keep the light functional. That isolation would eventually take a toll on one keeper, whose tragic story is at the heart of the lighthouse's hauntings. Big Bay Point's most famous ghost story revolves around a keeper named William Pryor, who served here in the early 1900s. Pryor was a dedicated man but deeply troubled. It's said that the loneliness and pressure of the job began to wear on him. According to local legend, he died by suicide in the keeper's quarters. Since his death, visitors and guests, because, yes, the lighthouse is now a bed and breakfast,
have reported
chilling encounters. Some have heard footsteps in the halls when no one else is around. Doors open and close on their own, and guests often wake in the middle of the night to find their room unusually cold, even in the heat of summer.
Eee.
The most unsettling reports come from those who stayed in what was once Pryor's bedroom. Guests describe the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of the bed, though no one was there.
Is that where he took his own life, in the bedroom?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
One visitor even claimed to see the shadowy outline of a man standing by the window staring out at the lake. Big Bay Point Lighthouse's reputation as a haunted location has drawn plenty of attention from paranormal enthusiasts. Investigators have captured eerie EVPs, some interpret as faint cries or whispers. A few even swear they've seen the figure of a man in lighthouse keeper's attire walking the grounds at night.
What is lighthouse keeper's attire?
Maybe raincoats and rain boots. I don't know.
I feel like a lighthouse keeper would just, like, wear clothes.
I don't know.
Like, weather appropriate clothes. So, yeah, sure. Rain boots.
Right.
Raincoat. Things like that. But also, like, shirts and pants.
I don't know. But it's not just the paranormal crowd. Even the skeptics who've stayed at the lighthouse admit there's something strange about the atmosphere. The isolation, history, and the sense of being watched all add up to an experience that's hard to explain.
Yeah.
And if you're brave enough, you can experience it for yourself. Big Bay Point Lighthouse operates as a bed and breakfast, offering guests the chance to stay in a haunted lighthouse. Just don't be surprised if you leave with more questions than answers. Big Bay Point Lighthouse reminds us that loneliness and tragedy can leave deep marks on a place. Maybe it's the spirit of William Pryor still lingering in the halls where he lived and died. Or perhaps it's something else. Something tied to Lake Superior's rugged beauty and unforgiving nature. Whatever the truth, one thing's for sure. The lighthouse is more than just a beacon in the night.
Yeah.
As we continue along the shores of Lake Superior, we arrive at one of the most remote and hauntingly beautiful lighthouses on our list. Crisp Point Lighthouse. Located on Michigan's Upper Peninsula, this lighthouse feels like it's at the edge of the world. And maybe that's why it's been the site of so many eerie tales. Crisp Point Lighthouse was built in 1904 to fill a dangerous gap along Lake Superior's southern shoreline. The area was notorious for shipwrecks, and the lighthouse was a much-needed guide for mariners navigating unpredictable waters. Unlike Split Rock or Big Bay Point, Crisp Point was always isolated. There was no nearby towns, no roads, just miles of forest and shoreline. Supplies had to be brought in by boat, and lighthouse keepers lived in near total seclusion.
Jeez.
For some, that isolation was a blessing. For others, it became a curse.
What? Supplies had to be brought in by boat?
Supplies.
No, that's what I said. Like, what? Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of forest, but like, as if humans hadn't been clearing forests for all of human history. Just interesting. You know what I mean?
While Crisp Point doesn't have a specific ghost tied to its history, many visitors have reported unexplained experiences. One common story involves hearing faint voices near the shore, as if sailors lost in a storm still call for help. Others have described seeing shadowy figures on the beach, only for them to vanish into thin air.
Yeah, if there's a lot of shipwrecks in a particular location.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's also a recurring tale of a mysterious woman in white who's been seen walking along the dunes near the lighthouse. She is described as wearing a long dress, her face obscured by a veil. Witnesses say they seem to be searching for something or someone.
Her husband, she's bride.
Yeah. But when approached, she fades into the mist.
Yeah, like, if I could fade into the mist upon being approached, you bet your ass I would.
Yeah.
Just somebody comes up to me in Walmart, gone.
Yeah.
Reappearing 4 aisles over.
Yeah. Some believe she might be tied to one of the many shipwrecks in the area, a grieving wife or mother still waiting for her loved ones to return. Whatever the case, her presence is a chilling reminder of the lives lost to the lake's unforgiving waters. Crisp Point Lighthouse is one of the more challenging spots for paranormal investigators due to its remote location. Still, those who've made the trek report a strong sense of energy in the area. EMF meters often spike near the lighthouse, and audio equipment has picked up strange humming sounds that seem to come from nowhere.
Humming.
Yeah.
Could be environmental.
Yeah.
But also could be paranormal. As with so much of the paranormal.
Yeah. Today, Crisp Point is maintained by a dedicated group of volunteers who've worked tirelessly to preserve its legacy. It's open to the public, though getting there requires some adventure. The dirt roads leading to the site only add to its sense of mystery. Crisp Point Lighthouse feels like a place caught between worlds, where the past is never far away and the lake's secrets are always close at hand. Whether it's the voices of the lost sailors or the spectral figure of the woman in white, this lighthouse proves that isolation doesn't mean being alone.
I mean, alone is just a state of mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to entertain yourself. But also, like, there's a difference between being alone and being completely isolated from civilization, too. You know, like if you never see another person except for like once a month when the grain shipment comes in.
Yeah.
Also, mercury and lead.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yep. I don't know if I could be isolated like that.
I want to be alone, but at will.
Yeah.
I want to be able to terminate my aloneness at any point.
Yeah, for real.
And then be able to retreat into aloneness again when I feel like it.
All right, are you ready to head to Lake Michigan?
Yes, please.
All right.
Michigan, Lake Michigan, not Wisconsin, Lake Michigan, correct?
We'll see. Our first stop on Lake Michigan is one of the region's most famous haunted lighthouses, Old Presque Isle Lighthouse in Michigan. Though its light hasn't guided ships in decades, locals say it still shines, and not always from this world.
Is that the ghost light?
Ghost light. Old Presque Isle Lighthouse was built in 1840, making it one of Michigan's oldest lighthouses.
Damn.
Its purpose was straightforward, to guide ships safely through the hazardous waters of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
But as with many structures from that era, it came with its share of challenges. The lighthouse was decommissioned in 1871 and replaced by the, quote, new Presque Lighthouse light just a few miles away. For decades, it sat neglected, falling into disrepair. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that the lighthouse found new caretakers in George and Lorraine Paris, a couple who restored it and opened it to the public. But it's George's untimely death that many believe sparked the hauntings. Visitors to Old Presque Isle Lighthouse often report seeing the light shining from the tower, even though it hasn't been operational for over a century. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
This mysterious light is usually attributed to George Paris, who some believe continues to watch over the lighthouse in death as he did in life. Lorraine Paris, George's widow, claimed to experience strange occurrences after his passing. She would hear footsteps in the tower and feel his presence as if he were still there. Some visitors have even heard a man's voice gently welcoming them to the lighthouse. That'd be crazy.
Just upon entering?
Yeah.
Is there a greeter there that they're like hearing a real man say welcome?
Then there's the story of the Phantom Light. Boaters and residents in the area have witnessed a beam cutting through the darkness on foggy nights. The Coast Guard has repeatedly confirmed that the light is inactive, but the sightings persist. Today, Old Presque Isle Lighthouse is a beloved tourist attraction, drawing history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Several paranormal groups have investigated the site, recording EVPs of footsteps and faint voices. The phantom light remains a mystery with no scientific explanation for its source. Some say the lighthouse is simply a peaceful resting place for George Paris, whose love for it transcended death.
Yeah. I mean, you see, whether mercury and lead poisoning play a factor at all, you spend enough time somewhere, you're on a soul level, like you get attached to it in some way.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation where you are isolated and you have an important job to do. Like, there's a lot of pressure there.
And you probably feel like you still need to protect it after death, I guess. I don't know.
Or there's, they could just be residual hauntings. Although, if people are hearing someone greet them when they walk through the door, that is not residual, unless it's like a real person in the other room, like, hey, welcome.
Yeah.
That's not a ghost. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
A lot of this activity can be chalked up to residual activity, not sentient, not intelligent hauntings, but just residual energy that manifests in a visible way or auditorial way. But it's not, there's no intelligence to it. There's no portion of the individual soul attached. It's just a repeated action. A lot of these lighthouses are built on sandstone, and sandstone is a very porous mineral. And people, paranormal enthusiasts, theorize that sandstone, among other minerals, but sandstone is uniquely skilled at retaining energy.
Yeah.
And sandstone and water, and there's a few other like recording substances that trap energy and periodically release it. Whether it's an action that happened at the same exact time every single day, like a lighthouse keeper walking up a set of stairs at 10 o'clock p.m. to make sure the light's still going,
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know. It's fascinating. And like the cool thing about the paranormal is we'll never know the truth.
Yeah.
Until we join.
Yeah.
them on the other side. But it's fun to speculate,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? You could have a choice or to stay or...
I hope so. Like, if it's anything like the Greek afterlife, yes. But also, like, if you're being stranded on Earth, I don't know. That seems kind of miserable. Like, I
guess depends where you are.
I want off this planet. If I am reincarnated, can I please go somewhere else? I don't want to do Earth again. This ride is... Yeah. I've done it too many times.
Yeah. Anyways. Others wonder if the light might also serve as a warning, reminding sailors of the lake's hidden dangers.
Well, yeah.
The haunting of Old Presque Isle Lighthouse feels more like a love story than a ghost story, a testament to the bond between a man and the place he cherished.
Yeah.
Whether it's George's spirit, a trick of the light, or something else entirely, the lighthouse continues to capture the imagination of all who visit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I strongly hope that it's not portions of these people's souls being stranded in the places where they either died or lived and spent a lot of time. Like, I hope that it's just residual energy. Yeah. Or if it is sentient, that they can come and go. And that, that might explain why paranormal activity doesn't always happen all the time if a spirit isn't there all the time.
Yeah.
Like if you can switch back and forth between whatever's on the other side of the veil and where you died or lived. I don't know. Like, but that's not the why. Why go back? Why go back?
It's crazy.
Anyway.
If Old Presque Isle feels like a peaceful haunt, Sichua Point Lighthouse offers something much darker. Located near Gulliver, Michigan, this lighthouse is considered one of the most haunted on the Great Lakes, and for good reason. Sichua, which translates to only choice in French, was built in 1895 to guide ships through a perilous stretch of Lake Michigan. The name hints at the area's dangers. Sailors often found no other option but to seek refuge here. The lighthouse served as a beacon for decades, but the lives of its keepers seem to linger. One keeper in particular, Captain Joseph Townsend, is said to be the source of the haunting.
Oh, it's on the southern point of the UP.
Townsend was a strict, no-nonsense man who took great pride in his work. He died in the lighthouse in the early 1900s. Many believe he never left. Captain Townsend's ghost is the most commonly reported presence in Sichua. Visitors and staff have smelt his cigar smoke drifting through the building, even though smoking is prohibited.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it from the aerial shot in Google Earth, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the water is clear like the Caribbean.
That's crazy.
At least on the day that these pictures were taken. Right. It's just gorgeous. And there's cabins not too far away.
That's cool. Jim
and Jude's cabins.
I mean, I'm sure it's changed a lot since over 100.
16-minute drive from the cabins to the lighthouse. I'm just saying, like, if you ever wanted to go for a long drive.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just,
fine.
I Googled the lighthouses you're talking about, and that one was just so pretty.
Yeah. All right. Others have seen his shadowy figure pacing as if checking on the light in the tower.
Yeah. Again, that could be a residual situation.
Right. Some of the most unsettling encounters happen in the keeper's quarters. Guests have reported objects moving on their own, cold spots in the rooms, and even the sensation of being touched by unseen hands.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate.
That is inappropriate. I'm sorry. Wait, you said that's a thing that the main character in the books I'm listening to says all the time.
That's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. And I'm like, dude, like you fucked this dude how many times? And you're still saying what he's doing is inappropriate? Like, come on, lady.
Oh my gosh. Anyways. One account describes a guest waking up to find Townsend's ghostly face staring down at them. Definitely not something you'd forget.
No, please don't do that to me. If I'm sleeping off fucking limits.
Yeah.
I don't care how at peace you are in your afterlife. If you fucking come at me while I'm sleeping, I don't care. Like, you're not doing it intentionally, whatever. I don't care. You're curious about the people that come in and out of your home on a regular basis. Fine. Not while I'm sleeping.
Right.
I will sage the shit out of you, motherfucker. Like, gone. Get out of here. That lighthouse is no longer haunted.
Yep. Sichua Point Lighthouse has become a hotspot for paranormal investigators. Teams have captured clear EVPs of a gruff voice, believed to be Townsend's, saying things like, "Get out," and "Leave me be." Thermal cameras have also picked up unexplained heat signatures in the tower. Despite its eerie Despite its eerie reputation, the lighthouse remains a popular destination for those seeking history and the supernatural.
I mean, why can't we do both?
You can do both.
Exactamente. Why can't we do both?
Guided tours often include stories of the hauntings, and visitors are encouraged to keep an eye and ear open for Captain Townsend.
Listen, Mr. Townsend, I respect you and what you've got going on here. It's fine. Howdy doody. How you doing? Nice to meet ya. Not while I'm sleeping.
Yep. There's something about Seshwa Point Lighthouse that feels heavier than the others we've explored. Maybe it's the intensity of Captain Townsend's presence or the darker energy reported by visitors. Whatever.
It's always a dark energy.
Yeah.
Listen, people, dark doesn't mean bad.
Right.
Could you imagine if the sun never set?
Right.
If it was just daylight 24/7, which, I mean, okay, people that live in Alaska and the very northern Scandinavia and Russia know what it's like.
Right.
But also, like, can you fucking imagine if the sun never set?
That would suck.
It would suck so bad. Light is not purely good. Dark is not purely bad.
Right.
We need the darkness to appreciate the light. We need the light to appreciate the dark. Yes, the dark can be scary because things can hide in the dark. But you know what? Some of the most vicious, vile monsters hide in plain sight in the middle of broad daylight. So I don't want to hear nothing about no darkness being evil.
That's true.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Fine.
soapboxing.
Whatever the case, this lighthouse leaves little doubt that the past is still very much alive here. Heading over to Lake Huron,
Okay.
we arrive at Point Au Barquet Lighthouse. I forgot to do a pronunciation on this one.
Point what?
Au Barquet. AUX space BARQUES.
Yep, found it.
Okay.
Au Barquet?
Au Barquet. Okay.
Au Barquet? Barks.
Oh, Barks?
According to Google, Barks.
Oh, Barks?
Barks.
Barks. So we'll call it...
Barks. That just doesn't sound French enough to me. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I can't imagine the French being like, Barks.
It's probably an American white man trying to say...
Yeah, it is.
Probably ox barks. Ox barkies. I want to say all barks.
His ox barks.
Located near Port Hope, Michigan.
Oh! Okay.
Like many lighthouses, its history is tragic, but it's also one of the most enduring symbols of resilience on the Great Lakes. Point Au Barks Lighthouse was built in 1848, making it one of the oldest lighthouses on the Great Lakes. Its name, which translates to Point of Little Boats in French, reflects the area's importance as a navigational landmark.
So it's in the thumb. It's at the tip of the thumb, really.
That's cool.
At the tippy top of the thumb. If you know, you know. Port Hope. Port Austin. Okay. Yeah! I mean, I don't know where this is, but I know where this is.
All right. One of the lighthouse's most tragic tales is the death of Catherine Shook, the wife of the first keeper, Peter Shook. Catherine drowned while picking berries near the shore in 1849, leaving behind a legacy that many believe is still felt today. That would suck. Fucking picking food and falling into the damn off the shore.
I mean, okay, and their clothes back then, lots of wool.
Oh, yeah.
And while wool initially is water repellent, once submerged, that shit gets so heavy.
Yeah.
Imagine being in wool skirts, layers of linen, cotton, and wool petticoats.
That would suck.
Wool skirts, wool bodice, fucking corsets.
No thanks.
You're basically wearing lead shoes.
Yeah.
Like, so many drowning deaths in the Middle Ages were just caused by clothing.
Yeah.
Slipping in, your clothing sucks you under, gathering water, or picking berries along the shore. Like,
yeah.
So sad.
That would suck. Yep.
So, yeah.
The most frequent reports at Point Aubarks involves Catherine Shook's spirit. Visitors often see a woman in 19th century clothing walking the grounds or standing near the shoreline where she drowned. Some describe feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness in her presence.
Yeah. I mean, shit, she was looking forward to eating those berries.
Oh, I know.
She was either going to make a pie or a cobbler or just eat them fresh.
Yeah.
I'd be sad too.
Yeah.
It's like the ghosts on Ghosts. Like their number one fixation is food.
Smelling food, yeah.
Smelling food.
That's crazy.
Watching people eat.
Yeah. That's funny. Inside the lighthouse, people have heard soft weeping, believed to be Catherine mourning her untimely death.
Yeah, mourning that pie she never got to bake.
Yeah, no shit.
And I'm not being like cruel. I take pie very seriously.
Yeah. There are also reports of her spirit appearing to children, comforting them when they seem scared or uneasy.
Oh, I love that.
Though Point Aubarks Lighthouse is still operational, the hauntings have drawn their fair share of attention.
Aubarquet. Like, I can't.
I know.
Aubarquet.
Aubarquet. Paranormal groups have documented unusual activity, including cold spots, flickering lights, and the sound of footsteps in the keeper's quarters.
The flickering lights thing, that's just a Michigan thing. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. I just remember, like...
Could be a lighthouse thing. Who knows?
I don't know. We had a lot of issues with our lights when we lived up there.
Yeah.
But it could have just been us, too.
I don't know.
Maybe our house was haunted and I didn't know it.
Maybe.
Had my first paranormal experience there, so...
Yeah.
That was...
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Despite its ghostly reputation, the lighthouse remains a cherished historical site, with many visitors drawn more by its beauty than its hauntings, though both are undeniably part of its story. Point Aubarquet reminds us that tragedy and love can leave an undeniable mark on a place. Whether or not Catherine Shook's spirit lingers, her story adds a poignant layer to this lighthouse's legacy.
Yeah. I mean, just tragic, untimely deaths in general just suck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, death sucks, period. Not trying to state the obvious, but like, there is something about it outside of murders, which that's like a different situation. Just tragic, untimely, accidental deaths.
Yeah.
There's like a whole level of sorrow involved with that, both on the part of the deceased, whatever's left of them, or whatever they experienced during the act. Like, can you imagine picking berries and slipping and going, "Oh, this is how I die."
Yeah, that'd be so fucking crazy.
And just like those split seconds before you go, or however fucking long it takes to drown. I feel like drowning is a pretty quick death.
Yeah. Like
once you take in the water into your lungs, it happens pretty fast. Like those split seconds leading up to the end. Yeah. Like, shit. Like, I am so dumb. And now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can think of. Like, I would just be like, good job, Ashley. This is it.
Yep. That would suck.
Your clumsiness finally fucking pays off, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That's shitty.
Yeah.
So
what?
Ready to head to your least favorite state?
Florida? Texas?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Anyways, as we shift to Lake Erie, we come to Marblehead Lighthouse in Ohio.
Oh, Marblehead, yeah.
The oldest continuously operating lighthouse on the Great Lakes. Its rich history makes it a favorite destination, but its legends and spirits bring us here tonight. Marblehead Lighthouse was built in 1821, standing proudly on a rocky peninsula.
Google seems to think Marblehead Lighthouse is in Massachusetts.
What?
Marblehead Oh, there is one. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, I found it.
It was originally constructed to guide ships safely through the narrow passage of Lake Erie's treacherous islands. its distinctive white tower with a green lantern room has become a symbol of Ohio's maritime history.
Oh yeah, that's solidly in Ohio too. You can't claim that was part of Michigan and the Ohioans stole it. That is deep in Ohio.
Yeah.
By Cedar Point! Oh my god! It's literally across the lake from Cedar Point. Like, they're a mile apart.
That's crazy. The lighthouse has seen many keepers over its long time, but one name stands out, Benjamin Fleming, who served as keeper from 1822 to 1832. Fleming's dedication to the lighthouse was unparalleled, and his death left a lasting impression on the place he cared for so deeply. Many of the hauntings at Marblehead are attributed to Benjamin Fleming himself. Visitors and staff have reported hearing his footsteps echoing through the lighthouse late at night as if he's still checking on the beloved light. Others claim to see a shadowy figure near the top of the tower, staring out over the lake.
Sorry, I'm still looking I'm listening to you, but I'm also looking at Google Maps. I guarantee you can see Marblehead Lighthouse from the top of some of the rides at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
And also the camper village is called Lighthouse Point at Cedar Point.
Nice. There's also a chilling tale of a woman in black who has been seen wandering the grounds.
A woman in black?
Woman in black.
Oh, this is a departure from blue or white or gray.
Yep. Legend has it she is the spirit of a grieving widow searching for her husband who drowned in the waters nearby.
Okay.
Witnesses describe her as a silent, mournful presence fading into the mist when approached.
I mean, I would fade into the mist when approached too. I said this before. I'll say it again.
Paranormal investigators have visited Marblehead numerous times, capturing EVPs of faint voices and unexplained banging sounds. Or is it just people fucking in the lighthouse?
Oh my god.
Anyways.
You're the worst. You're the bratwurst.
I mean, come on. It's true sometimes. The light itself, which is now automated,
I hate you,
has been known to flicker or behave erratically, adding to the eerie atmosphere.
Is that the fucking people?
Come on.
Fucking against the light?
It's rude for me to say people fucking in a lighthouse and you read Shadow Daddy's fucking...
You don't know what I read tonight?
Probably not.
Listen, you're playing games with the kids. I kept a straight face though. It was wild and I did not enjoy it very much.
Okay, well.
It was very public. Not my thing. I'm not a voyeur.
Nice. Anyways, visitors, even those who don't believe in ghosts, often leave with an unsettling sense of being watched. The combination of history and hauntings makes Marblehead an unforgettable place. Whether it's the spirit of Benjamin Fleming keeping the watch over the ghostly window, nope. Whether it's the spirit of Benjamin Fleming keeping watch or the ghostly widow searching for closure, Marblehead Lighthouse reminds us that some connections are too strong to break, even by death.
You know, maybe the widow's ghost should meet up with Fleming's ghost.
I mean, that's probably
maybe
what
they're the people you hear banging in
That's what the banging is. Yep, exactly.
Oh my god.
All right. Ready to...
You're broken.
I know. Ready to head to Canada?
Sure.
All right, let's go to Canada. Our next destination takes us to the shores of Toronto Island in Canada, home to Gibraltar Point Lighthouse. I keep wanting to say Gibraltar.
It's Gibraltar. Thank you very much. Yep. Like Geronimo. Gibraltar.
Gibraltar Point Lighthouse, with a history that dates back to 1808.
Okay.
This lighthouse has seen centuries of change.
Was Michigan even a state then? Oh no, this isn't Canada. Never mind.
Canada. And it carries one of the most infamous ghost stories in Great Lakes history. Gibraltar Point was built to guide ships safely into Toronto's busy harbor as the oldest lighthouse on the Great Lakes.
Oh, the oldest lighthouse on the Great Lakes.
Yes. Its stone tower was a beacon for sailors navigating Lake Ontario's unpredictable waters. Over time, though, it gained notoriety not just for its history, but for a grisly legend that still haunts it today. The story revolves around Jean-Paul Rademüller, the first keeper of Gibraltar Point. In 1850, Rademüller was reportedly murdered by two soldiers who accused him of diluting their liquor.
Damn.
His body was never recovered, though rumors persist that it was buried near the lighthouse. Rademüller's restless spirit is said to haunt Gibraltar Point to this day. Visitors often report hearing disembodied whispers near the lighthouse and the sound of footsteps on the spiral staircase. Some have even seen the figure of a man in 19th century clothing wandering the grounds at night. One chilling account comes from a group of teenagers who ventured to the lighthouse after dark. They claimed to see a light moving up and down the tower, even though no one was inside. When they got closer, the light disappeared and an icy chill overcame them. Over the years, paranormal researchers have conducted numerous investigations at Gibraltar Point. Many have captured strange phenomena, from unexplainable cold spots to eerie sounds on audio recordings. Some even claim to have found anomalies in the soil near the lighthouse, potentially supporting the theory of a buried body. That would be crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if anyone has dug at any point in that garden, that would create anomalies.
Yeah. I don't know.
Doesn't necessarily mean there's a buried body, but,
right.
It could be. Who knows?
Be.
Who knows?
They just
Not
got
me.
to dig it up. What?
Is that what they did with Jimmy Hoffa?
Put it under a lighthouse? Ah. The lighthouse, now decommissioned, is open for tours. Visitors are drawn by its rich history and the thrill of experiencing its ghostly legends firsthand.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Gibraltar Point Lighthouse is a place where history and mystery collide. Whether or not Jean-Paul Rademüller's ghost still walks these grounds, his tragic story has become an indelible part of this historic landmark.
Yeah. Not to sing capitalism's praises or anything.
Right.
But if lighthouse keepers of ye olden times had harnessed the power of tourism, maybe they wouldn't have all been so isolated and sad and lonely. Yeah. If they would have been like, hey, you like hunting? I got wilderness.
Right. Yeah.
Come kill my deer and I will keep ships from wrecking.
Yeah.
And also not go crazy from loneliness.
Yeah. All right. Ready for one more?
One more, sure.
All right.
Hit me.
For a final stop tonight, we're heading to Selkirk Lighthouse in New York.
Aww.
Located near the mouth of the Salmon River, this lighthouse might not be as famous as some others, but it has its own stories and ghosts to share. See,
Lake Ontario doesn't count.
Oh, come on. Selkirk Lighthouse was built in 1838 as part... Oh, I got my letters mixed up. As part of an effort to make... I put pass art. What?
Pass art?
Yeah. Was built in 1838 as part of an effort to make Lake Ontario safer for commercial shipping.
Pass art of an effort.
Pass art. Oh.
Okay. The pond? I'm sorry. North Sandy Pond, where do you get off calling yourself a pond? You're a fucking lake. What the hell?
Its red brick tower and attached keeper's quarters were a lifeline for sailors navigating the turbulent waters near the river's mouth. The lighthouse was decommissioned in 1858, but remained a private residence for many years.
Where's the lighthouse?
During that time, it gained a reputation for strange occurrences, which only deepened as the years passed. The most well-known ghost at Selkirk is believed to be a former keeper who passed away in the lighthouse. This spirit has been seen roaming the grounds, often appearing in the windows of the keeper's quarters. Guests staying overnight have reported hearing heavy boots stomping down the hall, even though no one else was around.
I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time seeing the fucking lighthouse. When I zoom in on Google Maps, it's just a house. There's no... It's like in down river from the actual lake. So if there was a lighthouse there, it would be less effective than being directly on the lake. And it's just a house. There's no lighthouse tower.
Well, it's now a vacation rental spot.
Yes,
so.
but where's the lighthouse?
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking. Did they tear down the lighthouse?
There are also tales of a ghostly woman who lingers near the river. Her presence marked by the sound of soft singing. Legend has it she's waiting for a lover lost to the lake, a story that adds a touch of melancholy to this quiet spot.
Okay. You can't see it in the overhead from Google Maps. The lighthouse is attached to the house. So it's a lot of times there's a separate residence a little bit ways away. But still, the location of the lighthouse, kind of not where I would put a lighthouse, but, you know, what am I? Just a woman.
Selkirk Lighthouse is now a vacation rental, offering guests the unique opportunity to stay overnight. Many report strange experiences, from flickering lights to the sound of muffled conversations that seem to come from empty rooms.
Maybe it's people fucking.
Could be people fucking.
It's always people fucking.
Anyways, we listen to too much.
I think we just know. I mean, I know too many people who have done things in public. Not like out in public, but you know what I mean?
I mean, this is a overnight stay, so they could be fucking.
I mean...
Yeah, anyway. Paranormal groups have investigated the site, capturing EVPs of voices and unexplained tapping sounds. People fucking. Some have even claimed... Some have even claimed to see orbs of light floating near the river, adding to the mystery of this secluded lighthouse. Selkirk Lighthouse may not draw the crowds of other Great Lakes landmarks, but its quiet atmosphere makes its ghost stories more compelling.
It's quite atmosphere?
Yeah, I almost said quite. Its quiet atmosphere.
Quite atmosphere.
Makes its ghost stories more compelling.
I mean...
Whether it's the keeper, the singing woman, or something else entirely, this lighthouse has a presence you can't ignore.
You know. Can you ever ignore a singing woman? No.
No.
Should you? No.
No.
People fucking? Yes. Ignore it. Pretend you're not hearing it. Go fuck yourself. I mean, I don't mean go fuck yourself. I mean, go fuck yourself. You should also go fuck. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. Do what you want.
Go find someone to fuck you. Willing.
Yes.
Consenting adults.
Consenting adults. As we close tonight's journey, I think about the timeless presence of lighthouses. They're symbols of safety, standing tall against the chaos of the waters, yet they're also keepers of the untold stories, shadows of the lives that passed through them. The haunting tales we explored tonight show us how deeply connected these places are to those who lived, worked, and sometimes died there.
Yeah.
Each lighthouse we discussed tonight tells its own story of isolation, duty, and resilience. These places seem to hold onto their history, from the quiet footsteps heard in empty halls to the voices carried on the wind. They are more than structures. They are silent witnesses to tragedy and perseverance, echoes of lives that refuse to be forgotten. What about these places make them feel so alive even when abandoned? Perhaps it's the isolation, the way they stand apart from the world as if time slows down in their presence.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the weight of all the lives intertwined with their history, keepers, sailors, and loved ones whose stories remain tethered to these shores.
Yeah.
Lighthouses invite a connection. Maybe you've stood at the base of one, feeling its quiet energy, or gazed up...
Quiet energy?
Yeah. Or gazed up at its tower, wondering about the people who once lived there. Perhaps you visited one and felt that unshakable sense of history hanging in the air. These places ask us to reflect on the lives that came before us, to remember their struggles, their sacrifices, and yes, even their ghosts. If you have...
Yeah. Huh? I said, yeah.
If you have your own story about a lighthouse, whether it's a haunting experience or simply a memorable... Memorable? Yeah, I forgot the Y on that. Yep.
There's a Y in memorable?
Memorable. God dang, I can't speak. Okay. If you have your own story about a lighthouse, whether it's a haunting experience or simply a memorable visit, I'd love to hear it.
I'd like to say something really quick. If you are interested in lighthouses and the history of lighthouses, and specifically why so many lighthouse keepers went mad, Kaz Rowe on YouTube 3 years ago did a video titled, "Why Did So Many Lighthouse Keepers, quote, go mad," end quote. I watched the video. I should watch it again. I probably watched it when it came out, and it was very good, very informative. They research a lot.
Yeah.
Do a lot of research. I don't know if they're actually a historian. I know a lot of people that I watch are like either going through their doctorates or have doctorates in their field of study, or just experts in their field of study. But they are very informative, and I enjoyed when you were talking about lighthouses. Like, I just kept thinking about certain points in their video. So anyway, if anyone wants to watch it, it's on YouTube.
Right. These stories keep the past alive, ensuring that the people and places of history aren't forgotten. And I skipped through 3 or 5 lighthouses.
Oh, there was only 3 or 5 more?
Yeah. And we're about an hour and 15 minutes in. So.
Okay, yeah, this is long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were quite a few more. If you love lighthouses, I'd suggest Googling Great Lakes lighthouses, and you'll find a shit ton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. My grandpa likes lighthouses.
Yeah.
He paints lighthouses.
That's cool.
Yeah. He used to do wood things with he had a scroll saw or a jigsaw.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a scroll saw where you make little teeny tiny micro cuts.
Oh yeah.
Where you can make really fine. And he did a couple things that were like lighthouses, and he would put lights in them. And I don't know. I don't think he does that anymore, but
that's
I don't think he has space for his woodworking. But now he paints.
Nice. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight. Whether you believe in ghosts, appreciate history, or enjoy a good story, I hope these tales resonate with you. The Great Lakes are more than just vast waters and rugged shorelines. They are a world of mystery, a place where the past lingers just out of reach. If you have any stories or requests of anything you want to hear about or know anyone who does, please email me at afraidishpodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy episodes like this, please subscribe and get notifications for new episodes that drop.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yep, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Afraiders Podcast. Still can't figure out Threads because it won't let me post there.
Why not?
Because it sucks. Anyways.
What, is it because your captions are too long?
Yeah.
So then just post the picture to Threads with a shorter caption directly in Threads.
Post from a link to Instagram, and I still can't figure that out.
if your caption is under like whatever many characters a post on Threads is allowed to have, if you link your Threads account to your Instagram account, which I created my Threads account through my Instagram account, so they were immediately linked, it gives you the option to share. You have to click the little toggle. If your caption is too long, the toggle, that's no clicky.
That's my problem.
So then that's when you share the post to Instagram, and then you go in and then you share it separately to Threads. You can share posts directly in Threads. You don't have to share it through Instagram to share it to Threads.
Okay.
You just have a shorter caption.
Yep. Anyways, tell me what haunted locations you want to hear about or anything paranormal. All the links will be in the show notes. I have this on YouTube as audio. You can listen almost anywhere you listen to podcasts. Also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and rate on Spotify. 5 stars, please.
Please.
And remember, the world is full of mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, there's always something new to discover, and sometimes the most unexpected places are the most haunted. Until next time, don't be afraid of the dark.
Be afraid-ish of what's in it.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe it's people fucking.
Could be people fucking.
It's always people fucking.
Anyways.